What's good, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. Today's video, we're going to listen to Seth Curry, right? And we're listening to Seth Curry because I think there's a lot of similarities between his journey in the NBA and LiAngelo Ball's. I do think that if anybody we could think of to make the comparison, who's probably the closest with brothers who's playing in the NBA, who's helping them get some extra opportunities, being undrafted into the NBA and having to really earn his stripes in the G League, I think Seth Curry is the prime person for us to learn some stuff from. Let's get into it.
AB the Hero, back at it, baby.
First things first, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for karate chopping the like button. We're gonna get into the video here. So we got Seth Curry. He's on the All the Smoke podcast. Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes. We've talked about both of them sometimes on this channel. Still really cool content creators. But they have a really interesting interview with Seth Curry here. Both Matt and Steven got drafted late in the second round, and Seth, who started at Liberty, transferred over to Duke, didn't get drafted at all. So he's going to break that a bit down, and then he's going to talk about the politics and things and his experiences in the G League. And I think that some of it is stuff that we've talked about before on this channel, but some of this is brand new, and I think it's some perspective that we all can learn a bit from, and it might shed a little bit of light on what my dog LiAngelo was going through. Let's get into it.
Was Austin Rivers there?
Austin won there. Austin came the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were in and out.
Hey, going into 2013 NBA draft and being undrafted, I was drafted to second to the last pick in the draft, so that, you know, I know what it feels like to be overlooked, but at the same time, you knew what you had to do, being that you had a father with experience. You know what I mean? That can help you in that time. What was your thought process when you didn't get drafted?
I mean, I had an injury, so that was a big part of not getting drafted and not having the chance to compete with guys during the pre-draft process. I had surgery after my senior season, so I was rehabbing and stuff. But I knew if I got healthy, I knew I had the talent in this.
So I want to pause here. I'm not going to pause too much, but obviously we talked about this many moons ago. I told y'all a lot of the hurdles that my man LiAngelo faced coming straight out of Chino Hills had to do with his ankle injury and him eventually needing to have surgery. So once again, that's first similarity.
Yeah. To play in the NBA, obviously working with Steph in the summer, the talent and the skill level to play in the NBA. Obviously working with Steph in the summer. Working on my game. I knew I'm working with Steph. I know I'm working on his drills. I'm competing with him and shooting games. I'm like, if I'm close to him, then I know it's a lot of guys in the league that can't mess with me. So that confidence level was sky high as far as that. It just matter of getting the opportunity to show I can play at that level.
My man said his confidence level was sky high because he spent a lot of time in that off season training with his older brother, who's a Hall of Famer. Training with his older brother, who everybody without a doubt knows is an NBA player. And he's saying that if I was close to him, not that I was better than him, not that we was on the same level, but I knew that if I got into that realm, that I gotta be an NBA player because there's not a lot of people who close to him, right? And then so when we talk about the LaMelos and the Lonzos, obviously they haven't had the Steph Curry career up to this point. However, I will say that my dog LaMelo is pacing faster than Steph Curry with his first All-Star game coming in his second season. That's a nod and a chip in that cap, but we can see, right? You see that where one of the main things that has even allowed LiAngelo to have his opportunity with the Hornets that he has now is working out with LaMelo, right? We knew that he was going to get that opportunity because we saw him in the weight room with the Hornets gear on, and then we heard the stories about him cooking NBA players in practice. So not only is he getting this similar, I'm playing really well with my brother who was an NBA player, but LiAngelo actually got a shot to play against an NBA team in practice, and they said, bro, you could do this. And he gave his first opportunity. Now, what we'll learn is that sometimes the door being open isn't enough, but let's see what he has to say about the rest.
Yep. What's your experience like? You got to the D League. What was that experience like? G League, excuse me, G League.
Yeah,
it was D League back then.
It was the D League at that time, but we were really in the D League, like playing in Santa Cruz, playing in Erie. You gotta love the game to play it out there. Seen a lot of guys with talent that quit because, I mean, it's a tough road, but
He just said something right there. I seen a lot of guys with talent that quit because it's a tough road. I seen a lot of guys with talent that quit because it's a tough road. One of the things that I hear people say all of the time about my guy LiAngelo is, man, why don't you just go overseas? Right? Yeah, the opportunity is they treat you wrong, bro. Why don't you take the time? And my man saying that might not be the way to do it. You got to stick it out. You got to really love the game in order to deal with some of that drama that happens in the G League.
Yeah, I mean, I just working on my game. It was a big experience because I got to put the ball in my hands, got to learn the NBA system, play with the NBA three-point line, learn my game. It's completely different than college.
Now that's the one big difference is we're not seeing LiAngelo really get that opportunity to get the ball in his hands, learn his game, and feel the difference between college, the JBA. However, I will give a nod to the JBA that they played with that NBA three-point line and tried to incorporate some of that stuff into those games though.
Just the pick and rolls, the sets. It's a little bit of an adjustment. But instead of like most guys who get drafted second round, even some guys in the first round, instead of sitting the bench and not playing, I got to get those game reps, work on my game, and that's when I really knew I could play at the NBA level if I really got an opportunity to.
Here's the thing that I think is interesting because there's a repetition of one phrase. I really knew I could play at the NBA level, right? There's all of these small moments that have to keep reaffirming for him that he could play at that level, right? Or else you could tap out. But I'm playing against Steph. I feel like I could play at that level. I'm in these G League games. I'm getting my first sense of action. I feel like I could play at that level, right? And it's just those I know I could do it. I know I could do it. And I think that's important, right? And that's what I'm hoping that my dog LiAngelo is getting off the court from places or really internalizing his trajectory, right? We know that he did a workout with OKC a while ago and they said, bro, hell yeah, come play with us. And then the pandemic happened, right? Then we know that there was some time where I guess Melo might have been training in Detroit and Detroit saw him and said, oh bro, come play with us. And then because of COVID, they end up cutting the G League program and the bubble happened. He didn't get the invite down there. But then now we see him in Charlotte and he's in there training the hoop. Man, I said, oh, boy, come with us. So there is some hurdles right now is getting on the court, getting consistent minutes in Greensboro, but that perspective has to be there to say, but I have not failed yet. Reminds me of what we talked about in that video with Lamar Jackson a while back. If you haven't watched that, go check that out. But it's the perspective, understanding that I haven't failed yet. You know what I'm saying? The successes that I've had triumph over whatever failure that could be, that might be seeming that is looming over me.
And it's a roller coaster, you know, going from the G League to the NBA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting the opportunity and not really get a chance to play because people don't know your game, like, all that can be frustrating. Was it easier for you to be able to deal with all that and having that bumpy road, knowing that you had people with experience behind you to kind of, you know what I'm saying, give you advice so where you won't panic if somebody else didn't have somebody in their ear?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, y'all know it's tough. And, when no team's really investing in you, you come up there, you might not play, get sent back down. But yeah, my pops, one big thing, my pops came to a game in Erie, watched me play, and he sat me down afterwards, and he really put a battery in my back as far as saying, like, you you can play at the NBA level. You just gotta get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? He an honest dude. He gonna be honest. If he ain't see it in me, he would have been like, hey, just go overseas. You can make some good money, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But he really kept that 100 with me and was like, if you get the opportunity, you can play at the league. And I mean, that was the toughest part, is just waiting my turn. Like I said, I'm not drafted. Nobody invested.
Let me step back 1 second. All right, so you heard that another time, right? His dad even had to affirm that for him. He came out, watched me play, and he would have kept it real. Hey, bro, you got what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Now listen to this, because this part here is key. This is critical.
Waiting my turn. Like I said, I'm not drafted. Nobody invested a draft pick in me, money in me, and there's no reason for anybody to give me an opportunity to play at the NBA. Just, like I said, I just had to be patient, wait, and finally got the opportunity.
That's what people don't understand is, like, once you get to that level, there's so many politics. Whether you're a late second round pick like myself and Jack, or not drafted yourself, they're invested in other people, so they're going to give them motherfuckers every single chance they have to succeed. So if you're a late second round or not even drafted, there's a lot of guys that get washed out the league just not even getting a chance, because a lot of people can play, but a lot of motherfuckers just don't get that chance, right? It's a straight
like
business.
These front offices, they got jobs tied into guys they drafted. So even if you outplaying them and you can help the team win, it's like if this guy drafted first round don't pan out,
you gonna make him look bad.
Exactly.
Let's go one more time. What did you say there?
If this guy drafted, so even if you outplaying them and you can help the team win, it's like if this guy drafted first round don't pan out,
you gonna make him look bad.
Exactly.
Even if you can help the team win, if this guy drafted first round don't pan out, you could make him look bad.
Straight up. Talk about. I kind of feel like your first real shot was with the Kings. Your first.
We'll get into that. We'll save that for another time. But do you hear that right there? I think that's what we're seeing right now. Right, is really LiAngelo having to buy his time. Right. Take the minutes as he can get them, and I think for a lot of us, what we saw initially was a great opportunity, right? Your brother is on that team. He's a future all-star at the time, a perennial all-star for most of us right now, and we saw that as an opportunity for a springboard for LiAngelo, right? And I think that we were wrong in that, right? And truthfully, it just was a door that opened up. And while we were expecting him to be able to run through that door full head of steam, we're starting to see now that, like, the door is opened up, but there's also a line. And in each step, each game, hopefully season by season, I don't think that this is our last time seeing him play in the G League or in an NBA organization, but I think that he gets closer and closer to walking to that door and to getting his first opportunity. We're looking at Seth Curry here, who played over at Liberty, was an elite scorer, set all the records over there, came to do his senior season, stepped into the starting lineup for Kyrie Irving and took that Duke team on to win an ACC championship, had an injury, didn't get drafted, and really had to work and find his rhythm, bounce around not only the NBA right later on, but in the G League had to move a couple teams before he really got his foot in. And so I think that I wouldn't be surprised if this story that we heard from Seth Curry in the future, that Jello could sit down and tell a similar story about his experiences. And I wouldn't be surprised if his experiences ended up giving him opportunities that we've seen Seth Curry be able to have, with him doing his thing in Dallas, doing his thing in Philly, Brooklyn Nets, Sacramento, moving around the league and really making himself some money. I think it's coming for LiAngelo. One other thing that I got for y'all, somebody told me to watch this video, and shout out to you for doing that. What I would love for y'all to do is, if you can, make sure you join the Discord, right? And then so you can come over here to topic suggestions, reaction video suggestions, drop them in here, and then we'll watch whatever videos and talk about it on the channel as you do that. The link to the Discord will be in the comment section or the description, all of that jazz. So thank you. We out. Peace.
No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.